Owen, good to see you again, man. Thank you so much for your
Good to
time.
see you. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Here's the thing, man. I remember when this movie was announced. I remember when you were announced you're gonna play Noah, and it's just insane because now the movie is coming out. Like it's so
Yeah.
crazy how time flew by.
I know. I know. It feels like it was yesterday that we were making it.
Oh, man, and that's like my first question. I mean, a movie like it's just the scale is just so big, aesthetic wise, story wise, and everything. And I know like motion capture and everything. A lot happens before you actually like put the motion capture suit on and everything. You're preparing and getting used to everything. So in a lot of ways, like from a storytelling acting perspective, maybe it feels like two separate journeys, but does it feel like two journeys, like before filming or after? Or does it feel like one big journey with multiple steps?
I think it feels like one with multiple steps. Although Ape School was certainly a chapter. You know, I think there's different chapters of making this movie. Mine actually started in New York when I hadn't even gone to Australia yet, and I spent a month training at a parkour gym just to get in shape, just because I knew that I'd be doing this for half a year, and I needed stamina, and so I went and I just worked on physical stuff, and then I spent a week with actual chimpanzees at a sanctuary in Florida called the Center for Great Apes, and interacted with chimps and played games with chimps and in one case spoke ASL with a chimpanzee. But that was a really, really crucial week for me to have to just kind of, absorb, the behaviors and how they move. But then it was our ape school work, and that was really where we formed these bonds with one another that are in that you see on screen, and yeah, and then
Because it's all the end goal. It's all the end goal of making a movie, but like the way
right.
you're describing Ape School, it really does feel like that's like its own
It's kind of its own thing. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I remember we had kind of a graduation day, where we graduated from Ape School, and then like the next day was the first day of filming.
so crazy. We
Yeah.
kind of talked about this last time you were on the show, but like Gone in the Night and like it a little bit about all these different kind of worlds and these worlds that some have like original kind of source material and some don't and everything. And the Planet of the Apes world is massive. So
Yeah.
much amazing kind of source material before Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. What is your kind of relationship with that like past source material, like even the books, the movies, and everything? Do you kind of look at it? Do you research, leave it alone a little bit, and focus on Ape
Yeah.
School? Like, I'm curious.
I'd seen the original when I was a kid, and I remember it was kind of very disturbing to me, but I liked it. But then I saw the trilogy, the Caesar trilogy in theaters when they came out, and I loved those movies. They're like my favorite trilogy of movies from that decade, really. Um, and I think they're one of the best trilogies of all time. But in terms of drawing on that stuff when we were actually making it, you know, I had seen those movies, and obviously what Andy did as Caesar and what the other actors in that trilogy did was informative for me and really was something to build off of. But I didn't want to go back and just do that, because we're expanding the world. This kingdom is not just an expansion of the size of the Planet of the Apes universe, but also of the apes themselves and the evolution, that we kind of get to watch them progress through. This Wes has a great way of putting it, which is that last trilogy was the Stone Age, and this is the Bronze Age. So it was about updating
The one
things.
you're bringing up about like that freaked you out a little bit is the Mark Wahlberg one. Is
No,
that
I mean the
or the no
'68
the
one. I
original one?
did I did watch the Mark Wahlberg one when I
See,
was
that
a
one
kid.
I remember, like that one was like a lot. As a kid watching that, I was like, this is pretty scary. Like, I
That's a
mean,
weird
like
movie. Yeah, that's a weird movie.
it's weird because it's like we talked last time about, you work in like the horror movie genre and everything. And
Mm.
these movies are not horror movies, but even like you said, the trilogy, like the Caesar movies, and this one, like there are some moments where it's like tension, like chilling, like in your seat. You know what I mean by that a little
Yeah.
bit?
Yeah, well, the Caesar trilogy especially is it gets pretty dark. Like that, those are some heavy movies, um, and I think one of the things I love about Kingdom is that there is that kind of gravity to what's happening, but there's still this sense of light and of hope, I think, because, you know, Noah he's young. He's still got optimism. He's still like, he still sees the best in people, even when they disappoint him, and even when they break his trust, he still holds on to this, like, well, maybe there's a future.
I want to go back to Ape School a little bit, Owen, because you mentioned like parkour and everything, and I can't get The Office out of my head of just like the parkour. And obviously this was parkour, you know what I mean? So I'm just wondering, what can you tell me about the parkour, that training? Can you go into detail a little bit more about that?
I trained at a gym in East Williamsburg in New York. I went to see a trainer there, and he kind of, you know, worked with me to just get me in shape, because I'd never done anything like this before. Because I knew that, you know, Ape School would be tiring, filming would be exhausting. And,
so it was like preparation for Ape School, pretty much?
Yeah, it was basically just like get me to not be a couch potato.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And, you know, no, for sure. And man, my journey question, because usually sometimes when I'll do those interviews and everyone just says like it's one journey with multiple steps and everything, one journey with, like, you know, multiple steps, but like it sounds like this was really like maybe like 2 or 3 journeys, you know, preparing for this.
Yeah, no, I mean it I guess it was, you know, there were many things. That's sort of the wonderful thing about performance capture for me, is that, you know, like Andy always says, there's no mystery. It's just acting. You know, you are at the center of it. It's about playing a character and finding the truth of that character, and expressing that. But the thing that I love about it is that it's almost more acting than normal acting, because there's all these other elements that you get to play with. There's this deeply physical nature to it that you know, in traditional filmmaking you don't get to go that far usually, because you're playing humans, and humans have human behaviors, and so you kind of get to shed that, and, you know, you get to use your voice in a different way. You get to be more physical than you would otherwise. So it's just acting, but the breadth of expression that you get to play in is wider. I forget where we were going with this, but yeah, it's really
well, no, you
fun.
talked about kind of the acting and everything, and you're an actor, and you're a very good actor, man. I just want to say very quickly before, and I can't wait for people to check out Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Oh no, so great chatting with you again. Thank you so much for your time.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too. Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.